There is a conversation that happens in retirement communities, in family kitchens, and in doctors' waiting rooms all across Australia every single day. And it goes something like this. Someone mentions they are on the age pension and someone else says something like you are getting too much or you should not be getting that or did you know you are not supposed to be doing that? And the first person goes home worried. They lie awake wondering whether they have done something wrong. Whether Centrelink is going to send them a letter. Whether they are going to have to pay something back. And almost every single time, when the situation is properly looked at, the advice they received was wrong. Completely, confidently, dangerously wrong. The problem with Centrelink misinformation is not that it comes from bad people. It comes from well-meaning friends and family members who genuinely believe what they are saying. It comes from outdated information that was correct 10 years ago but has since changed. It comes from half-understood rules applied incorrectly to situations they do not actually fit. And it costs retired Australians real money, real peace of mind, real years of unnecessary stress. So stay with me because by the end of this video, I am going to walk you through the 7 most common things that Australian retirees get completely wrong about their Centrelink entitlements, where each misconception comes from, and exactly what the truth actually is. Some of what I am about to tell you will save you money. Some of it will give you back your peace of mind. And some of it will make you realize you have been entitled to more than you have been receiving for years. Welcome back to Centrelink Insider AU, the channel that cuts through the confusion so you always know exactly what you are entitled to, nothing less. If you are new here, subscribe right now and turn on notifications because we cover Centrelink and age pension updates every single week in plain English. And please share this video with anyone you know who is on the pension or approaching retirement age because the misconceptions I am about to cover are so widespread and so damaging that getting this information out is genuinely important. Now let us get straight into it. The first thing most Australian retirees get completely wrong is this. If I have too many assets or too much income, one get nothing at all. This is probably the single most costly misconception in the entire Centrelink system. And it causes a very specific and very expensive outcome. Retirees who believe this assume they do not qualify for any pension payment, never apply, and miss out on years of part pension payments and the incredibly valuable pensioner concession card. The truth is that the age pension does not work as an all-nothing system. It works as a taper, a gradual reduction. For a single homeowner in 2026, the full pension assets threshold is $321,500. But the pension does not cut off at $321,501. It reduces by $3 per fortnight for every $1,000 of assets above that lower threshold. The pension does not stop entirely until your assessable assets reach $695,500 for a single homeowner. That means there is a range of $374,000 worth of assets above the full pension threshold where you are still receiving a part pension. And even a part pension as small as $1 per fortnight technically qualifies you for the pensioner concession card, which is worth thousands of dollars per year in reduced costs. The same logic applies to the income test. There is a free area below which the full pension is paid. Above the free area, the pension reduces gradually. It does not stop until your income reaches a significantly higher cutoff point. Many Australians sitting between the full pension threshold and the upper cutoff are receiving part pension payments they genuinely need and are entirely entitled to. If you have ever said to yourself, I probably earn too much or I probably have too many assets so I would not qualify, please use the Payment and Service Finder on the Services Australia website right now and actually check. Do not assume. Check. The second thing most Australian retirees get completely wrong is this. My home counts as an asset, so having an expensive house hurts my pension. This is a misunderstanding that runs in both directions. Some retirees believe their home counts as an asset and are therefore surprised when they discover their expensive home does not reduce their pension at all. Others know the home is exempt but then think that because the home is exempt, the rest of the assets test works the same for homeowners and non-homeowners. Neither understanding is correct. Your principal home, the property you live in, is completely exempt from the Centrelink assets test. It does not matter whether your home is worth $400,000 or $4 million. Its value is not counted. However, and this is the part that trips people up, being a homeowner does mean that Centrelink gives you lower thresholds for all of your other assessable assets. Because Centrelink assumes homeowners have lower housing costs than renters, homeowners get a lower assets test threshold. For a single homeowner, the full pension threshold is $321,500. For a single non-homeowner, the full pension threshold is $579,500. That is a difference of $258,000. So owning your home does not hurt your pension in the sense that the home is counted. But it does mean that Centrelink allows you less room with your other assets. Understanding this distinction is critical if you are making decisions about whether to sell your home, downsize, or restructure your finances. The third thing most Australian retirees get completely wrong is this. Once I start receiving the pension, I can relax and Centrelink will sort everything out automatically. This misconception is one of the most dangerous because it leads directly to the two outcomes that retirees dread most: underpayment that goes uncorrected for years, and overpayment debts that Centrelink comes back to collect. The truth is that once you are in the pension system, you have ongoing legal obligations. You are required by law to notify Centrelink within 14 days of any change to your circumstances that could affect your payment. That includes changes to your income from any source, changes to your assets, changes to your investment values including superannuation, changes to your relationship status, changes to your living arrangements, changes to your rent, changes to your work bonus activity, and changes to your travel plans if you are going overseas. Centrelink does not automatically know about these changes unless you tell them. Their systems receive some data feeds from financial institutions and the ATO, but they do not capture everything. And when a discrepancy is discovered, whether it is because you were paid too much or too little, the resolution always goes back to the date the change should have been reported. If you were supposed to notify Centrelink 3 years ago and you did not, the debt or underpayment they calculate may go back 3 years. 14 days. Write it on your wall if you need to. Any change to your circumstances. 14 days. The fourth thing most Australian retirees get completely wrong is this. Working while on the pension means I will lose my pension. This misconception is stopping thousands of Australian pensioners from doing part-time work they would enjoy, that would keep them physically and mentally active, and that would meaningfully improve their financial position. The truth is that the age pension has a specific mechanism called the work bonus that is designed to encourage pensioners to stay in the workforce in a part-time or casual capacity without being heavily penalised. The work bonus allows age pensioners to earn a certain amount from employment income without it being counted in the income test at all. In 2026, the work bonus is $300 per fortnight, meaning the first $300 per fortnight you earn from actual work is completely excluded from the income test. On top of that, any unused work bonus from previous fortnights accumulates in a work bonus bank up to a maximum balance. This accumulated balance can be applied against employment income in fortnights where you earn more than $300, providing additional protection for pensioners who do seasonal work or who take on occasional larger projects. What this means practically is that many age pensioners can do a meaningful amount of part-time work every fortnight, earn several $100s, and see no reduction whatsoever in their pension payment. If you have been avoiding work because you thought it would reduce your pension, please call Centrelink on 132 300 and ask them to explain the work bonus as it applies specifically to your income situation. The answer will very likely be better than you expect. The fifth thing most Australian retirees get completely wrong is this. My superannuation is not counted by Centrelink. I can have as much super as I want and still get the full pension. This misconception is particularly common among Australians who retired before reaching age pension age and who accumulated significant superannuation during their working years. The confusion arises from the fact that superannuation held in accumulation phase, meaning super you have not yet started drawing down, is not assessed as an asset under the Centrelink assets test before you reach age pension age. If you are 60 and your super is still in accumulation phase, it does not affect your pension assessment at that point. But the moment you reach age pension age, which is currently 67, your superannuation balance, regardless of whether it is an accumulation phase or an account-based pension phase, becomes fully assessable under the assets test. Every dollar in your super account is counted as an assessable asset from that point forward. For many Australians who have spent decades contributing diligently to super and who are approaching pension age with balances of $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, or more, this is the fact that changes the retirement math entirely. Your super balance, combined with any other assessable assets you have, determines whether you receive the full pension, a part pension, or no pension at all. If you are approaching age pension age and you have not had your super balance assessed against the current Centrelink thresholds, do it now. The answer may surprise you in either direction. The sixth thing most Australian retirees get completely wrong is this. I already checked my eligibility once and I was told I do not qualify, so there is no point checking again. This is costing retired Australians more money than almost any other misconception on this list. The Centrelink eligibility rules change. The assets test thresholds are indexed and adjusted twice a year, every March and September. The income-free areas are updated. The deeming thresholds are reviewed. Individual financial circumstances change as super balances are drawn down, as assets are sold, and as income sources change. A retiree who was assessed as ineligible for the pension 3 years ago may well be eligible today. A retiree who was receiving a small part pension 2 years ago may now be eligible for a significantly larger payment or even the full pension. The system is not static, and neither are your circumstances. If you have not had your Centrelink eligibility assessed in the last 12 months, you should do it now. Use the Payment and Service Finder on the Services Australia website. Call 132 300 or visit a Centrelink service centre. The assessment is free. The potential upside is significant, and the cost of not checking is entirely money out of your own pocket. The 7th thing most Australian retirees get completely wrong is this: Centrelink will contact me if I am entitled to more. They will let me know if something changes. This is the belief that keeps more money in the government's pocket and out of pensioners' hands than any other misconception in this video. The truth is that Centrelink does not proactively reach out to tell you that you have become newly eligible for a payment, that a rate change has increased your entitlement, or that a threshold adjustment means you now qualify for a supplement you were not previously receiving. Centrelink administers the system. It does not advocate for your maximum entitlement. That is your job, or the job of someone you trust to help you. The age pension is not the only payment that pensioners can access through Centrelink. There is rent assistance for renters. There is the pension supplement. There is the energy supplement. There is the telephone allowance. There is the mobility allowance for pensioners with limited mobility. There is the care allowance if you are caring for someone with a disability or health condition. There is the pharmaceutical allowance. There is bereavement payment when a partner passes away. Each of these payments has its own eligibility criteria, and none of them are automatically applied to your account just because you become technically eligible. You have to know they exist. You have to check whether you qualify. And you have to either apply or contact Centrelink to have them assessed. The pensioners who get the most from the system are the ones who treat it as something to actively manage rather than something that takes care of itself. Now let me bring all 7 of these misconceptions together with the practical steps I want you to take this week. The first step is to check your current eligibility right now using the Payment and Service Finder on the Services Australia website. Even if you have checked before, even if you were told you do not qualify, even if nothing seems to have changed, check again. The thresholds update in March and September, and a lot can change in 12 months. The second step is to review every payment and supplement listed in your Centrelink record through MyGov. Make sure you are receiving every payment you are eligible for. Compare what you are receiving to the full list of available payments for age pensioners. If anything is missing, contact Centrelink to investigate. The third step is to understand your 14-day reporting obligation and set up a system to make sure you always meet it. Every time your financial circumstances change, your assets change, your income changes, or your living situation changes, you have 14 days to tell Centrelink. Build that habit now before it becomes a problem. The fourth step is to speak with a Financial Information Service Officer at Services Australia if you have any questions about how the rules apply to your specific situation. The service is free. Call 132 300. These officers are specifically trained to help pensioners understand their entitlements, and they are not there to minimize what you receive. They are there to help you understand the system. And the fifth step is to share this video with every retired Australian you know, because the misconceptions I have covered today are so widespread and so costly that the more people who understand the truth, the better. Someone in your life right now is avoiding applying for the pension because they assume they do not qualify. Someone in your life is doing less work than they could because they think it will cost them their pension. Someone in your life checked their eligibility years ago, was told they did not qualify, and has never checked again. Send this video to them today. To wrap everything up, the 7 things most Australian retirees get completely wrong about their Centrelink entitlements are these. They think the pension is all or nothing when it is actually a gradual taper. They misunderstand how home ownership affects the assets test. They think Centrelink manages everything automatically when they actually have ongoing reporting obligations. They avoid work because they think it will cost them their pension when the work bonus protects a meaningful amount of employment income. They think their superannuation does not count when it becomes fully assessable at age pension age. They think a past ineligibility assessment is permanent when the thresholds change twice a year. And they think Centrelink will contact them if they are entitled to more, when the reality is that advocating for your own maximum entitlement is entirely your responsibility. The system is complex. The rules change regularly. And the cost of misunderstanding them falls entirely on you. But now you know. And knowing is the most powerful thing you can do. If this video helped you today, please give it a thumbs up, because it genuinely helps more Australians find this information when they need it most. Share this video with every retired Australian you know, because this information is too important to keep to yourself. Subscribe to Centrelink Insider AU, because we are here every single week making sure you never leave money on the table. And drop a comment below and tell me which of these 7 misconceptions surprised you the most. I read every single comment, and your questions shape what we cover next. Until next time, stay informed, stay protected, and take care of yourself.